Canadian auto workers and the auto sector, however, are facing unfair competition from China's intentional, state-directed policy of overcapacity that is undermining Canada's EV sector's ability to compete in domestic and global markets.
After America and Europe impose tariffs on Chinese electric cars, Canada could be ready to follow suit. The finance minister announcing that on July 2nd, Canada will start consultations on measures that could include a tax on made-in-China electric vehicles.
China is quite intentionally creating overcapacity in a number of different sectors and is exporting that capacity to other countries. And that overcapacity is created with very problematic labor standards, very problematic environmental standards.
Right now, Volvo, Tesla, and Polestar all export from Chinese facilities to Canada. But the concern may be Chinese automaker BYD. Though BYD doesn't sell consumer cars in Canada yet, it's quickly increased market share in Europe and Brazil, in part by pricing vehicles far below the cost of rival manufacturers. Stephen Beta of the Electric Vehicle Society of Canada says he'd support a temporary tariff, long enough for domestic manufacturing to catch up, but not so long as to coddle domestic industry.
I think it's extremely important that it's not just the amount of the incentive or the tariff in this case, but the time frame is well defined and not excessively long, because we do need to get more EVs into North America, and having some pressure from outside will help accelerate innovation here domestically.
That's what the WTO was for, basically, so that every side could bring its claim and then we could find out whether or not these are reasonable claims to produce it.
Gil Lan at Toronto Metropolitan University expects any Canadian tariffs to trigger a complaint to the World Trade Organization, especially as China has already filed one against the U.S.
Canada is a smaller nation, so it can test the waters out while doing retaliatory tariffs without facing necessarily the same repercussions that it might face if it does that with a superpower such as the United States or the European Union.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.